These are all these people who have their personality wrapped up in running, and they're trying somehow to make themselves seem like they're better than they are. This is dumb. Stubbornness and tenacity and mental toughness is just as impressive, if not more, than speed to me. Welcome back to another video in a series of the dark side of ultra running, or running in general. And this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. It's definitely a pet peeve of mine, and that is running gatekeeping. That is the running snobbery out there, those who like to put others down, try to lessen their accomplishments, try to lessen who they are. I mean, gatekeeping what a runner is, how fast you can be, how slow you can be, all of these things are super silly. I see these type of comments all the time, and I tried to take screenshots of them so I can capture the beauty behind some of this. And some of this is going to be funny because some of the stuff all you can do is laugh at it. But I want to go through some of this with you guys because it's actually humorous. Like, how sad do you have to be someone who has to put others down and their accomplishments somehow to make yourself feel better? So let's go ahead and jump right in. And this one's kind of just funny to me. This because this is not gatekeeping. This is just funny. It says you can't convince me that becoming a distance runner isn't a trauma response. And I just think this is true. This was not meant to put anyone down. This was just to kind of poke fun at all the problems us distance runners have. This one right here, I hear a lot of. A lot of running snobbery is centered around marathons. Marathon runners in that community seem to have to deal with a lot more hate, a lot more gatekeeping than most other distances. You don't really see it that much in ultra running, because I think once you've run an ultra marathon, you've been humbled enough to kind of just keep your mouth shut. But this one right here, it says, you didn't forget to train for your marathon. You just have no discipline. Running a marathon with no training is not a flex. While running races without training is probably not the smartest thing to do, the need to go out and put people down that maybe didn't train enough or who don't take it as seriously as you do is just kind of weird to me. I feel like people who gatekeep running as their identity, either they maybe were a college runner, they're a serious runner, and they wrap a lot of their identity and accomplishments up in doing these distances, and they don't like sharing being a marathoner with people who they view as not real runners. I think that's kind of the core of this. They don't want their accomplishment of running a 2.5 hour marathon mixed in with someone running a 4.5 or 5 or 5.5 hour marathon. So I think that's really the crux of everything. It's ego. They don't like sharing the marathoner tagline, which is funny because I don't see that in ultra running. You know, there probably are people out there, but they're not as vocal. But that's this kind of a funny, goofy way of thinking about things. All right, next comment. Am I wrong to think that if you sign up for any distance running event, 5K, 10K, etc., you have to be prepared and ready to run the entire distance and not walk halfway? I mean, you have trained enough to be able to run the entire distance. I think I have so much respect for the sport of running that I don't want to join a running event and finish it walking. I see a lot of hate in gatekeeping around pace and walking, or run walking specifically. I get this coming from starting off with in track and road running and pretty much thinking you failed if you walk. I see a lot centered around the run walk distance. Jeffrey Galloway would beg to differ. He's quite an accomplished runner and coach, and run walk is a walk run, whatever you want to say, is definitely a large part of the training philosophy. I wish people could get over this. I think that's a barrier for a lot of people who are getting into running, is having this feeling that they can't walk, and that if they did walk, they're not a real runner. This is a silliness, just another thing to be ignored. And again, I see this type of gatekeeping, and this whole post right here had a whole long thing of trying to justify this saying this. I kind of see where they're coming from, meaning, again, it all goes back to them not thinking you took the race seriously. And there could be many things that are kind of the reason why you're not fully trained, whether it's, being sick, family matters, not enough time. There's a lot of things there. And I like pushing the experience over those kind of, I ran it the fastest ever for myself. I'm not a huge advocate of constantly pushing PRs. I think it gets people into injury. Not that you shouldn't try hard. Not that that should never be part of what you're thinking, but to constantly think that I think is just kind of destructive. Here's another good one. Jogging is a massive waste of time. I feel like people use the word jogging to actually put people down by calling it jogging and not running. It serves no real purpose. Use the treadmill on a high incline and walk for superior fat burning stamina. Don't see anything really wrong with that, but if you're an athlete, do sprints and footwork drills. If you're a fighter, spar lightly for 30 minutes, 5 days a week. Unless you're specifically training for a marathon, jogging is pointless. Jogging is the highest impact on knees for least amount of functional performance and aesthetic reward. Marathon runners are skinny, sprinters are lean and muscular. So again, this is more of trying to gatekeep around what they look like, how fast they go, calling jogging a waste of time. Zone 2, Zone 1, Zone 2 has its purpose. And some people, that's all they care about doing. They're not out there for performance. They're out there to keep moving and trying to stay healthy. To constantly put someone else's goals and project those on other people is nonsense. And another thing I don't like seeing, and this one cracks me up. Why are people so mad that I said you're not healthy if you can't run a 7-minute mile? Am I missing something? 70% of Americans are overweight. Do you just sit on the couch all day? What's going on? I feel like this is kind of like rage bait, just to get some discussion going. But to say that someone is not healthy if they can't run a 7-minute mile, they can't be serious with this. Now, they're conflating two different things here, like people being overweight, not being active. Yeah, that could very well be true, and it is probably true. Sitting on the couch all day is not something that's good for your health. So the barrier of a 7-minute mile being the healthy part of this is where I have the problem. Again, gatekeeping. What is health and what is not? What's a waste of time? What is not? This is silly. You can obviously be somebody significantly slower than that in a mile and be completely healthy. This one right here shows an experience that people had in a run club. And I find it wild that someone would be that crazy face to face. I've had an experience with somebody that I'm friend of a friend of that hit me up on Facebook years ago, which I'll share that at the end of this, which was crazy to me, the things that they said to me. So this one says, I've been a runner for years and just recently joined a new run club. Something happened to me that I sadly experienced many times. I was excitedly rambling about my run and was really happy. Another runner that I just met last week commented that they found my run on Strava. He said, wow, I don't understand how you have the mile time. I don't understand how you have that mile time. Your elapsed time is really bad. How are you even a runner? I was appalled, but who cares? I'm just out there to enjoy my run. Yeah, that kind of stuff where people get into the data, especially on Strava. They're out there worrying about people's heart rate, their speed. Like, do you not have anything better to do? Really? I mean, the elitism in road running is stupid and is something that I cannot stand. I see this a lot too. Comparison of running one event harder versus not doing another event as hard. So hot take, a blazing 5K is more impressive than a plodding marathon. Speed shows training. Endless slow miles just shows stubbornness. Now again, what is the purpose of saying stuff like this? I don't get it. And you're comparing apples and oranges. Some people are out there to run races for speed and time, and other people, it is a life-changing thing just to finish. And to ever compare the two is just dumb, and it makes no sense. Why do people care? You're not winning these races. Most of these people saying this, if not all of them, because I guarantee you there's no elite person out there that's winning races out here punching down on people. It just doesn't happen. These are all these people who have their personality wrapped up in running, and they're trying somehow to make themselves seem like they're better than they are. This is dumb. stubbornness and tenacity and mental toughness is just as impressive, if not more, than speed to me. I see a lot of hate for run influencers. I don't know if I'm a run influencer. I don't know if, I guess probably I would fall into that category, but I see a lot of guys getting beat up out there that are walking around with camera crews and stuff like that and filming during races. I filmed my race for the Marine Corps Marathon, and I was waiting for people to say things. I did get a bunch of funny looks for doing that, but it's not like I ran with the camera out the whole time. I don't really even think about it too much anymore. But it's a lot of run influencers are cringe because why are you wearing a water vest, runner shades, $300 Nikes, and gel packs to run 1 mile? And this is really, yeah, like you're not really a marathon. You're not running a marathon. I promise you won't pass out. So this is more of like looking at someone else and thinking they're goofy and overdoing it. Again, I kind of get that, but to post something about that is silliness, and that is cringe. I mean, I look in marathons and I see what people are wearing to prepare or to go into battle for a marathon or a 5K or 10K, and I could say, well, it's kind of ridiculous, but I don't feel the need to go post it somewhere. I have a platform. I could come out here and say stuff. I don't care. I'm not judging anybody else. They're going to learn just as I did, and just like we all do, that sometimes you may be a little cringy when you first get into stuff, and that not everything is necessary, but who cares? Let people do their own thing. That's not running, that's walking. He took up a space that somebody who could have actually put the work in to train to run it. So this was pointing out their dislike of somebody who was in the news, who's been called out for running the New York City Marathon, and their times were subjectively slow in comparison to what most people would run. Not a big fan of the person, but shaming them and somehow putting them down for completing a marathon in 5.5 or 6 hours is just ridiculous. I don't get that. This taking up space. If someone wanted to run it, they can sign up. You're not taking up someone else's space. And this is so goofy. People need to find better things to do with their time. This one's kind of funny to me. The cold separates the real and fake runners. This is really centered around calling people out for running on one of these during winter. Sometimes you just don't feel like doing it. I push people to run in the cold and the heat and the rain and all the snow to toughen themselves up, but not as a means to justify them being a real runner. If you don't want to run in the cold or the heat or the rain, you don't have to. It doesn't change what you are. You could just run on this every single day, this treadmill right here, and you're a runner. You could avoid being outside. Who cares? Nonsense. This one I liked is you're beautiful inside and out, like a burrito. I just like that meme I saw. Does the actual New York City Marathon winner get a different medal than everyone else? I just think whoever wins should get a different one than Jesse, the consultant who finished Monday afternoon. The constant need to separate yourself from what you perceive to be slower people is funny. That the things that people say and do to just not be. I mean, I've seen long threads of people just be like, I don't want to be grouped in with somebody who took 5.5 hours to finish. Like that takes away from what I do, and I run a 240, and like, holy crap, marathoners, y'all need to calm down. Can we discuss how bad running is for you and how mad I am at the societal trend where adults only make friends at running events? We are literally meeting up to collectively rapidly age our skin and ruin our joints and bones. But you're telling me it's the hottest new thing. This is stupid. I don't know why I threw this in there, but marathon distance on your own is called a long training run. A real marathoner actually enters real races. Recognized events called marathons. If you have to get the whole race, you have to get the whole race experience, not just a solo or small group training run. Two very different things. Why do you care? I've run more marathons, not in real races, than I have run actual marathons. I've run 10 official marathons, 28 official ultramarathons, but I've run probably 15 plus non-official marathons and training runs. I mean, I don't go around saying anything about the amount. I don't understand why these people care. Does it take away from you to someone say I'm a marathoner? Or I've run a marathon, and they'd be like, cool, which one? They're like at my house, in my neighborhood. Like, Why do you care? Like, that's the part with me with all of this is, why do these people care? They really have fragile egos. I mean, there could be somebody that ran a marathon and then ran to their car after the marathon and it was a mile away and they want to call themselves ultra marathoner. I don't care. I don't care at all. It doesn't take anything away from me. You can go argue with people all you want. This makes no sense. This one right here is 15 years old, oldie but goodie, but this is the peak kind of snobbery that I've heard in marathoning. I wish race officials would limit participation to only those who can break 4.5 hours running a marathon. And those that can't and sign up anyway, or those that are having a bad day, should just be pulled off the course. In this way, those of us that have actually run a marathon can actually be proud of the accomplishment and our training versus those that just walk or jog or just survive. See, this is the thing. It is about these people really are wrapped up in it, feeling like it takes away from their accomplishment when someone who seemingly is not trying hard or taking it serious, somehow it's taking away from them. And I can tell you, being out of shape in a marathon is no fun thing. It is hard to finish, just like anything. It is harder to finish a marathon out of shape than it is to finish in shape. Now, that's kind of a goofy comparison, but they're not out there just having a good old time. They're paying for what they did. And it's not taking anything away from you. You got to get over that. One of the weirdest experiences I had is I had a friend who has a significant other that was a runner, a good runner, cross-country runner, probably ran some halves. I don't even know if they ran a marathon, but maybe they had. And they found out that I run ultra marathons, and they just blasted ultra marathon runners as not runners, especially if they were not running the entire time. Their definition was, you are not a runner if you're not running the race the entire time. Any kind of walking. And I even specified, there are times you need to walk. They did not care. And shockingly, they've never run an ultra marathon. And I said, you can make that claim to me face to face if you run an ultra marathon. Go out and run a 50 miler and run the entire thing. Do not walk at all. And then you can come tell me that that's your definition. And that would be fine with me. But you don't get to gatekeep if you've never done the thing you're gatekeeping about. That is silliness and it's dumb. And at the end of the day, anybody out there who is slow or not as fast as you'd want to be, it's okay. It really, really is. People need to move. People need to have movement. People need to move as best they can. That's the problem. That's how we're going to solve the health issues in this world right now is movement. People need to move. That's why you need to be getting your 10,000 steps or 15,000 or 20,000 steps a day. It doesn't matter if you're a runner. It matters if you're moving. You're out there doing your best every single day to stay moving and keeping your body healthy. Don't worry about what other people say. Race your races. Do what you want to do. If you want to walk every 5K or walk every 10K or walk a daggone half marathon and jog walk a marathon or jog walk an ultra, who cares? Do your thing. There are no gatekeepers. Nobody gets to define anything. Have fun out there. Keep moving. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.